The spot I'm testing this time is in northern Desolace. There are a lot of beast-type mobs in Desolace, which means a lot of grey vendor trash that sells fairly well, and a lot of skinning opportunities. There's a concentration of Basilisks and Scorpions just south of Nigel's Point, which will allow us to chain together kills without much downtime. These mobs are around level 30 to 33, so I'd recommend being at least level 30 before attempting to grind here. Unfortunately, my warrior is too high a level to properly evaluate this spot, so I'm on a level 31 priest instead. Priests aren't the fastest class at killing mobs, but thanks to high spirit and the spirit tap talent, there's very little downtime. So I would expect a bit less efficiency if you're on something like a warrior or a rogue, and perhaps a bit more if you have something like a mage or a hunter. These mobs aren't particularly tough though, so I don't think your gold per hour would be too significantly impacted by using one of the weaker leveling classes. We're primarily looking to kill Basilisks and Scorpions, but the Dread Swoops aren't too bad either. They just have the downside of not being skinnable. If you see a pack of Hyenas, I'd recommend going out of your way to kill them. They're actually very weak and have low individual health, so you shouldn't have any problems killing all of them at once on any class. They have a high chance to give you some good grey items, and you can skin each of them. I farmed this location for an hour without trying to be hyper efficient and ended up getting no money in raw currency, but 5 gold, 52 silver, and 2 copper from vendoring all of the drops. I was lucky enough to get 4 greens, though I imagine after farming for an hour, it's more likely than not to get at least a few. Ultimately, the spot yielded less gold per hour than the Swamp of Sorrows, but the lower level of the mobs will allow you to start farming earlier, and the experience you get from it will enable you to start here, then farm until you're an appropriate level for other spots. Also of note is that I don't really think I've ever seen anyone else farming this location. Passersby might kill a mob or two, but I never had to share this spot with anyone nor wait for mobs to respawn. I'd recommend spending a few hours here before moving on to normal Desolace questing for the more efficient XP, then farming a bit in the Swamp of Sorrows so that you'll be close to having enough gold for your level 40 mount before you hit 38 or 39. If you wait until around level 38 to start farming, the experience you get from grinding mobs for gold will push you past level 40, and you might not be able to afford your mount until level 41 or 42, and personally I like getting my mount right once I hit 40. Something to note is that this spot is more Alliance favored, as Nigel's Point is an Alliance base, so if you're on the Alliance, you have a fairly close by place to vendor, repair, or mail things to clear up your inventory, and will be generally safe from PvP. If you're Horde, you can still run this spot, but you'll have to keep an eye out for potential gankers coming down from Nigel's Point, and as Horde, your best option to clear out bag space is probably the Vendortron 1000, which is an NPC that patrols the loop road around the center of the map every 20 minutes or so. Keep an eye out for him as you're farming, and sell off all the greys and leather when he comes around. Next time we'll be looking at a Badlands grind for if you didn't end up with enough money to get your mount at level 40.